Hello there, this is Elora, and I'm a prequel trilogy kid.
And this is Dave, and I'm an original trilogy kid. And you're listening to What Does Star Wars Mean to You? The show where we talk to all kinds of fans of the franchise, from industry insiders to indie artists, from obsessive mythologists to mega collectors, all for one goal: to take the hate out of the debate by focusing on one fan at a time to find out, what does Star Wars mean to you? Plus, it's just fun to chat Star Wars.
Yeah, welcome to our final episode between episodes of Season 3.
Yes.
Holy crap. This is where Dave and I deep dive on our favorite aspects of our guest interviews and discuss what's interesting to us in the world of Star Wars. But we're going to shake things up for our finale here. We're gonna pull out some deleted moments, some bloopers. I'm going to let Dave tell us because he's the master editor.
Well, we're going to, you said it. We're going to take a look back at some of our favorite moments from Season 3. We're going to pull some deleted moments from the interviews we've done in the past. And then we're going to do a blooper reel what is it called?
Compilation?
Compilation, yes.
Everyone loves a blooper reel.
Yes.
And we have a lot of them.
A lot of stuff on the cutting room floor.
It's mostly just like you like venting about something and me just like laughing. Yeah. Should we go into our favorite moments of this season, this year?
Yes, let's do it.
What's your first one?
My first one is doing the Darth Vader for Mark Thompson. Like, I love doing the line, what is it? I probably can't do it because I've got this cough right now, but like, sister, so you have a twin sister. And Mark Thompson is the VO performer for a lot of the Star Wars audiobooks, and I got to do my Darth Vader impersonation for him. And you couldn't hear him, but he was like, yeah, when I did it. It was just really exciting.
I was a witness. He did congratulate it. He said it was good.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a very good geek moment for me. What about you? What's one of your favorite moments from last year? This past season?
I mean, it's a toss-up. This is such a cop-out, but like we had so many awesome guests on this year. I mean, I think kicking off the season with Claudia Gray was kind of a dream come true.
Yes.
Not only was she super fun, I didn't want to hang up the phone. I was like, can we just like have tea and like talk all evening, please? You're super cool.
Chit chat about life.
Yeah. She's just so fun. Chris coming on twice, Chris Kempsahll coming in twice and becoming like more of a friend to us in the show was like really, I feel like a peak moment for us.
Yes, I agree.
He has a wonderful perspective on like how we can learn from history, but also still feel like optimistic around the world about what's going on in the world around us, kind of from what we can learn from history that I appreciate more like now than ever. Rose being a new Star Wars fan and coming onto our show within like a week of seeing the movies.
That was spectacular.
It was so fun.
And we have a deleted moment from her.
We do today. I enjoyed meeting Eric Clayton. Christopher Giroux was like wonderful. I mean, honestly, I'm just gonna I'll just start like naming everybody that came in. I also like, not to get too long-winded here, but a peak for me was I got to interview you.
Oh, that's right. Yes, for the 100th episode.
Yeah, we learned what Star Wars means to Dave, so that was one of my favorite moments.
It's I don't know. I feel like what Star Wars means to me changes all the time.
Well, we do talk Star Wars every day, so that would make sense.
We do.
Yeah.
You know what? One of my, I don't know if this is too self-grandizing, but literally one of my favorite moments have been our minisodes and just like kind of taking these deep dive philosophical looks at Star Wars. From like just weird angles. And like I was editing the last week's minisode about locations and planets, the Harvey Hamer minisode that just aired last week, and I was really taken by how we were talking about locations, but the greater thing about it was our locations felt, even though we had different locations, they felt very similar in not just the order where we went Lush Planet, kind of like a favorite planet, and then the most important planet, and how yours was Naboo, which is, I think, a very prequel kid centric way of looking at it, and mine was Tatooine, which is a very original trilogy kid way of looking at it. And it's just really kind of funny how it just naturally happens. And I think those like deeper discoveries are, to me, just fascinating.
Oh, I agree. I very much enjoy deep diving. I feel like I actually pull more out of our interviews when the two of us just kind of sit and chat about kind of like whatever it is that was inspired in the world of Star Wars from our guests. I mean, gosh, one of my favorite episodes of this season was very recently published. It was the Clone Wars reaction.
Yes.
Like, we rewatched the Clone Wars movie because Chris Mocked hadn't seen it. Yes. And I don't know, like there was just something in there's something in revisiting some of the Star Wars content that you don't normally go back to, like revert back to, that like after talking to so many, Star Wars fans, Star Wars creators, you see new stuff, and I appreciate that process. Yeah.
It's an amazing process. I love it. You're absolutely right. It's really interesting to revisit the content after someone else is talking about it, and you get to see it from that new point of view.
Yeah. It's almost as though it's our thesis.
Oh my God, you're right. It is our thesis. Dumbass.
Oh,
me,
God, I
not
didn't mean that sarcastically.
No, I know you didn't mean it sarcastically.
I was having a moment of like, wait, that's what we do.
Yes.
We are punchy today. Who is our first clip? Who's our first deleted moment?
Okay, deleted moments. Now, not all moments make the final interview. A lot of times, it's if it's a long episode, I'll cut something that is a lot of fun but may not be Star Wars centric. Or plus, I always consider like I want something for the eventuality of having Patreon, like something to be worthwhile to have on Patreon. And I think deleted moments, like the extended interviews, is a really good product. But now I'm going to take those deleted moments and use them for the finale episode. And these aren't all the deleted moments.
They're just some of the ones that stood out. Yeah.
Yeah. And our first one is Rose Hawk, or as you may know her on social as Roro Muffins. She came to be known for her reaction videos to her first time watching Star Wars. And we talked to her right after she watched the original trilogy, and I think the prequel trilogy. She hadn't watched the sequel trilogy yet.
That sounds right. Yeah.
And we talked a lot about her reactions to Star Wars.
I loved Rose. I still interact with Rose sometimes on like Instagram. She's so funny. I think she's watching Lord of the Rings now.
Yes.
I love this though. She's such an enigma to me because I'm like, how did you go as such a fantasy sci-fi nerd of my own? I'm like, how did you not ever see Hunger Games, Lord of the Rings, Star Wars? I don't know about like some Matrix. Like she has like this list. It's really cute. She has like this list, and so people are like recommending on social media. And there's a joy in watching somebody find not only experience, but also like find joy in the things you love.
Yes.
For the first time. Like watching her react online is like when you introduce a movie to like your friend and you're sitting on the couch and you're like, what are you thinking? Did you like that? Did you see that? Did you notice in the background that happened? And they're like, stop.
just leave me alone. Let me watch. Her reactions are so good. And
so funny.
And you asked a really good question, but ultimately it was cut out of the final interview. It was mostly a timing thing, I think. But it was an interesting discussion, and let's play it.
Whose fate would you rewrite if you could, and why?
Oh,
that's such a freaking good question. I hate it.
Sorry.
Well, luckily, I know. I don't know. I don't know because I'm thinking like everybody's fate had such a purpose. My immediate answer was, I don't want Ben to die, Obi-Wan, but then without Obi-Wan, there wouldn't really be a Luke and like the Force guiding him in that sense.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe I feel like Padme didn't need to die. Like she could have lived and build her kids.
Agree.
That was kind of like for him, yes, but also like she wouldn't have ever talked to him again, anyways. So she didn't need to die.
I would hope not.
Yeah, she didn't need to die.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Leia is still alive, correct? You guys can answer that maybe.
Yeah,
Leia's
and where
fine.
you are in the story, yes.
I'm like, wait, she's episode 6. That was
no,
the
I only
only
phrased it that
thing.
way because the actress did pass away. Carrie Fisher.
First of all, the very first thing I Googled after watching episode 6 or episode 3 was Carrie Fisher's death date and when the series came out, because I was like, did she even get to see this? Like, it was just horrible. That was the first thing I literally Googled. But I don't know. I feel like I don't know if I would touch it. Everybody's storyline has such an important purpose. If I was to think of even like Rogue One, which like absolutely destroyed me.
Yeah.
All of their deaths had such a purpose. It was horrible. I don't know. What do you guys think? What do you guys think? What am I missing? Who am I thinking of whose like storyline should have been different?
Well,
I mean, Count Dooku kind of fucking sucked. He didn't need to He could have died way sooner.
I've been thinking Bail Organa didn't need to die on Alderaan when it blew up. Leia's dad, like Mace Windu, maybe.
Yeah.
But I kind of agree.
Yeah, no, I really agree. If I were to answer it honestly, there's been some discourse over Obi-Wan's character kind of between films. They did an Obi-Wan series, and his character kind of ends up in a state that I think people found maybe conflicting to his character. A little bit more like resigned in his fate kind of energy. Yeah, I might have written that a little bit differently. What about you, Dave?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really hard to say because I think to get to the end of Return of the Jedi, all of them have to be on the path that they're on. And I do think like Padme might have been able to like get away, not have died, get away, but then we
wouldn't have had
back?
Luke. Yeah, and we wouldn't have really had Luke or Leia in the way that they were.
Yeah.
Yes. And I feel like that was necessary in order for them to, attain their ultimate heroism and fate.
Yeah.
So it's a tough question.
Sorry, I know.
No, that's fine. It's a good question.
I feel like
it's a good.
Qui-Gon died a little earlier than I would have liked. Maybe.
Yes.
I felt like I was surprised when I was like, oh, he actually just died? What the hell?
Oh, God, that's such a good take. Yeah, I
didn't really know he was going to.
I know who I'm going to speak for. All those Tusken Raiders that Anakin slaughtered, maybe they didn't have to die. How about that?
Maybe just his mom. His mom didn't have to die.
Yes.
If he wouldn't have died, the story could have just been good. Everybody would have been happy.
I don't understand his rage at the Tusken Raiders.
Yeah,
it's true.
I feel like that made sense.
I just think if he didn't kill the Tusken Raiders, if his mom had lived, then the scene with Mace, Palpatine, and him at the end of Revenge of the Sith would have been a lot different.
Yeah,
where Mace would have been like, Anakin, stop him. And Anakin would have been like, okay, shove. And it would have been Palpatine out that window.
Actually, I'm curious. I feel like maybe my answer also would be Darth Vader. I was kind of sad that he died so quickly after he decided to be good. And I wonder, and I don't even know like chronologically where 7, 8, 9 are supposed to be in the story. But I'm curious to know like, okay, well, who's the next bad guy? Clearly, because in my understanding, Palpatine's dead. In my understanding, Vader's dead. So clearly there's going to be somebody new.
This is where the fun begins.
I know. Yeah, this is where the fun begins. Yes. So I don't know. Maybe I would have liked for Vader to live a little bit longer, but it also was so poetic that he died.
To have like a more redeeming arc. Yeah.
How? Oh, and also, I don't know if I want to be on that jury that has to like put Vader up for war crimes to start the new republic.
Like, well, he was brainwashed. I don't know.
I love asking the question of like, whose fate would you rewrite? I think it's one of like a Rorschach test where what you say says maybe more about yourself than it says about the subject that you're talking about.
Oh, good point.
Yeah, right? Like, I think a lot of people might say Anakin, and so there's no Darth Vader. Or a lot of people might say the Emperor, so that there's no dark times.
He can't somehow return. Sorry, I'm still bitter about Ben Solo. So that's going to come out and then. No, I also my favorite part of that, I'm wondering if this is why we pulled it for timing over anything else, was because we kind of eventually came full circle to oh no, the myth is perfect as it is.
Yes, that's absolutely right.
We kind of had all these realizations that if we did X, Y, or Z, then A, B, and C didn't happen. And
yes.
Well, that it was actually a perfectly structured. We couldn't think of one change that wouldn't completely make
turn the story on its head, or
on its head. Yeah.
And a little bit, I guess.
Props to you, George Lucas. Yeah.
Yes. And talking about canon, here's a little transition for you. Tom Hoeler, who is the editorial director at Random House Worlds, where he's worked on Star Wars projects with such authors as Timothy Zahn, Rebecca Roanhorse, Delilah S. Dawson, and more, as well as Matthew Stover on the 40th anniversary edition of Revenge of the Sith.
Which Dave just gave me the other day, if you pay attention to our Instagram account. I love it. It's a gorgeous book, beautifully bound.
And we talked a lot about Star Wars, but like Elora and I, Tom's a big fan of a lot of different things, and one of those things is Lord of the Rings. Yeah. And this is a story that I love, but I felt like it was a long episode, and so I just cut it for time. Mm-hmm. But here's how Tom and his wife will do a Lord of the Rings extended edition marathon. This is a non-Star Wars question.
Love that.
But we're fans of a lot of different geekdom too. So your Random House bio says that you host elaborate Lord of the Ring parties, and I have two questions for you. Okay. What makes them elaborate, and is it the theatrical versions or the director cuts?
I mean, first of all, it's extended editions only,
Yeah.
Extended editions only, because if you're going to do it, we're going to do it. And it's the extended editions are just amazing, right? They're just they're just beautiful and wonderful, and they are the books even more fully formed, and they're just great. And I watch them now, and I actually almost can't remember what is and is not extended, because I can't tell you the last time I watched the non-extended versions of any of the films. There's a couple of scenes that I remember, because I just remember so vividly, going to the theater and be like, oh, that scene's not here. Okay, it'll be part of the extended. So there's a couple from Return of the King that I'm like, I can remember. But there's a lot of stuff, particularly in Fellowship, where I'm just I honestly couldn't tell you what was added anymore. So it's extended editions only, all the time. What makes them elaborate? First of all, it's day-long marathons. Not hey, we're going to start watching the trilogy on a Friday, and by Sunday we're done. No, we're going to pick a Saturday, we're going to pick a Sunday, we're going to pick a whatever day, and start in the morning, and we go until we're done. All three films.
All 16 hours. I'm that's a rough guess of how long.
It's not actually 16 hours. And we have two. So then what makes them elaborate is the sort of rules. The first rule is, once you start playing the movies, we do not stop. So someone has to get up, go to the bathroom. It's just get up. And now, if someone were to come in one of these and they've never seen these before, I might pause it. But if it's just people watching it, there's no stopping and pausing. Mm-hmm. So when you get to the end of a disc and you got to put a different disc in, you just do. When you get to the end of the films, we watch the first part of the credits, or the first two movies, the ones that are when the song is playing. But once it gets into the longer credits, we don't watch those. But for Return of the King, we watch all the credits all the way through the end.
Wow.
And so we do that. And it takes we usually start between 8 and 9 a.m.
Yeah, you have to.
And honestly, without stops or breaks or anything, you're done by about 9:30-ish, 9:45-ish. It's actually kind of bell to bell, doing it the way that we do. Just about 12-ish, maybe 13 hours, depends.
Oh,
but then what we do is, what really makes them elaborate, is there is always a menu, a Hobbit course menu for the films. So there's breakfast, second breakfast, 11sies, luncheon, afternoon tea, dinner, and supper. And there's sometimes a sort of morning tea in there with 11sies or whatever. So there are 7 courses. And it starts that when you press play on Fellowship, breakfast is served. And then a little after breakfast, you got to have second breakfast. And then within the 11 o'clock hour, 11sies must be served, or else it's not 11sies, right? And go through all the way through. And so we have these menus, and my wife and I, make these elaborate menus, and the menus are all like themed around the trilogy and around the food of Lord of the Rings in some way. Sometimes we try to actually recreate a dish that we either see in the films or is mentioned or is like sort of intrinsically about, part of the Hobbit experience or the Lord of the Rings experience, something you see in there, like when they're making like the stew with rabbits, like making a kind of stew or soup or sometimes. Other times we will take food that is kind of inspired by the elements of it. So near the end of Return of the King, when Sam and Frodo are lamenting about the Shire, and Sam mentions that it's summer and they're eating the first of the strawberries with cream. And then Frodo says he can't remember any of this. Well, when I think of strawberries and cream, that to me inspires like pavlova, which is a dessert dish that comes from New Zealand and Australia, which, oh, by the way, New Zealand is where Lord of the Rings is filmed. So we'll make a pavlova with, strawberries, or we'll go out and we'll buy the filling that goes into cannolis. We'll buy cannoli cream and buy strawberries and just dip strawberries in cannoli cream.
Yeah.
Life hack. If you have a bakery in your area that sells cannolis, particularly sells cannolis that they'll fill for you, you can usually just go ask them, can I buy cannoli cream from? And they will usually sell it to you. Like dishes that are inspired by that.
Tom, your wife sounds so cool.
And what we usually do is try to theme it like that. Second breakfast must be an apple, because that's what second breakfast is, according to Aragorn. We have extended that to be second breakfast can be fruit of any kind, because if you don't like apples, then okay, you still get to you can have, have a banana, have whatever. But second breakfast must be a fruit dish of some kind, because that is intrinsically what second breakfast is. It's not clear, it's not actually necessarily true that supper is dessert, but we do usually make supper a desserty thing. And then the other way to make it elaborate is like we build a real menu and we try to make the menu cohesive. And so what will usually end up happening is we'll decide that dinner or lunch might be some big elaborate dish. Like I'm going to roast like a porchetta all day, and that's dinner. And this big rich meal that's going to be dinner. So then we'll like build in dishes around it that, because you're eating a 7-course meal over the course of the day, obviously you need to have some lighter dishes, right? Well, okay, some sort of salad thing or a soup or whatever. And we layer it. We try to have reflections of like, okay, this is the kind of dish like the elves kind of would have eaten, or this is a dish that is more inspired by the kind of cuisine you might have seen from dwarves. And we just try to really like I'm not just going to like make buffalo wings for this, right? I really want to try to make food and dishes and things that have a connection or relationship to the experience and to the world of the Lord of the Rings, either within the films or again, calling on like New Zealand cuisine or British cuisine or other kinds of, inspirations. So that's what those are. And we do that a couple of times a year. We did it. When did we do it? We did it a couple months ago, actually. Yeah. And sometimes we have lots of guests and we have a big party and we just do it and cook all day and do all this stuff. And sometimes, a lot of times, it's just me and my wife. And we just sit around all day and be hobbits.
Fantastic.
It's great. It's one of our favorite things to do. We love it.
I love that you are also a storyteller in your hobbies.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Well, food next to being like food is and cooking is like a thing that I care about, probably is like the thing that I care about most, other than like telling stories and being an editor. It's like my biggest hobby is being a chef and cooking and studying food history and all of these things. And so trying to be, there's also a lot of weird similarities between writing and editing and cooking. But anyway, that's a different podcast. But so because of that, when I have events or dishes or do things like that, and particularly when it's connected to movies, I want to make food that's connected to the rest of the experience they're had. I want it to be all one experience, rather than it just being like, oh, you're eating food and we're watching. No, it's like you're watching a movie and we're eating food and oh my God, here's the like quiche that we made that's got the bacon and tomatoes and stuff because, there's Sam and them making that fire on Weathertop and Colin Osgood, right? It's that kind of just, I don't know, just that fun extra little connection to the whole experience. Which people should totally do. You should totally do it if you've never done it. I've never done it for Star Wars, but that's just because there's really not as much food intrinsically to the universe and intrinsic to the world. You got your blue milk. You got that crazy bread that Rey makes in The Force Awakens, which I think still might actually be the greatest special effect ever in movie history. It's just that bread that makes stuff in 10 seconds. Like, which, as far as I understand, it was actually a practical effect. Whether or not that bread is truly actually something you want to eat is a different story.
Yeah.
But apparently, it was like actually a practical effect, which is bonkers.
That's cool.
I would like a 10,000-page book about how that practical effect.
What I love most about that whole chat is like, I feel like you really get to know Tom.
Yes.
As like who he is. Like, you know, I love, like I laughed from my gut.
Yes.
And I just deeply appreciated his attention to detail, his commitment to the bit.
Yep.
The fact that like he has this amazing community he's built that just leans in and is their most authentic selves. Like Tom's living the dream.
He is 100%. Yeah. Plus, he has a hell of a spread while doing it.
Oh my God. Yeah, he's the example, as the Gen Zers would say, as like, that is the best use of free will that I've ever heard. Like,
it's so true. And the way he described it, you could tell he was a storyteller. That he's just a storyteller at heart. And I find that so, like, he referred to what he does with Star Wars as being a not a shepherd, not a candidate, a custodian. He described himself as being a custodian of the Star Wars story, and he's just shepherding it from, you know, when he starts to when he ends, and then he's going to hand it off to someone else. And I think that's such a sweet way of looking at what you do when you get to work within the Star Wars universe.
Yeah. No, Tom's the best.
He is.
I don't know if I have anything else to add. I very much enjoyed getting to know Tom.
Well, our next clip is from a guest who's kind of a visual story teller, and it's Bryan Ward, who's an amazing Photoshop artist who is currently doing a run of photoshopping Neil from Star Wars Skeleton Crew into different things. And to tell you it's my favorite thing to like on social right now is an understatement, because it's such a joy to see Neil in scenes from like Star Wars or when I say Star Wars, I mean A New Hope, Boba Fett, the Book of Boba Fett, just all different kinds of places. It's really great.
I want Neil in all of those places.
Yes.
Yes. Neil needs to be in every Star Wars project. He's the best.
He is the best. It would be, you know, it would be funny. Is to have him in the scene where the Emperor is like, kneel before me.
Oh my God. No,
it's like just Neil.
No. I want an entire series of Neil. I know this is so off topic to what Bryan brings to this deleted scene, but I want a whole, since we're talking about him, but I want a whole series of just Neil growing up and just becoming like some kind of badass like fighter pilot. Like, I don't know.
That's funny. I feel like he would be an insurance salesman.
No, I think he would find himself, and I think he already did a bit in Skeleton Crew, but I want more of Neil.
Well, with Bryan, you know, sometimes I'll ask a question that when hearing it back, I'm like, oh, that feels kind of negative or can be taken in a negative way. I really tried to steer away from too much criticism of Star Wars, but I think we're also finding ourselves being critical of Star Wars, but not necessarily in a negative way. And when I listened to this clip back, I was like, oh, you know what? He spins this in a really great way. And it's kind of an interesting point of view. So here it is. I'm going to ask a question. I hope it's not perceived as a negative one, but are there any creatures that you've seen in Star Wars where it kind of bumps you a little bit and you go, oh, that doesn't quite feel like Star Wars to me? Or is that a terrible question to ask?
No, it's not. There are some things that I've seen where I was like, I don't like, well, honestly, the Dexter Jetsu scene and the diner, when I first saw it, I was like, is this Star Wars? Like, I don't know if it fits. Yeah. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, no, this is exactly what George would do if you if you follow his From American Graffiti, the era he grew up in. Of course, he's going to put like a 50s diner in Star Wars. But as far as like there's some things like some of the prequel or the sequel movies, they have a lot of practical, but they had some CGI stuff. I wasn't sold on the Rathtars originally, but I've come to be okay with them. Like, I never disliked them, but they felt a little, I don't know, almost like Men in Blackish to me.
Yes.
More than Star Wars.
Fair.
But I try and be open to anything. Like when the space whales, the Purrgil, first showed up in Rebels, I was like, I wasn't sure about that. But now they're like, I love them, and they're a huge part of like what's going on in that part of the Star Wars story.
Yes.
They were just in live action. So like, and I got excited when they showed up. So the turn definitely happened. But those are ones I think of where my original thought was, I don't know about this. I'm sure there's other ones, but
fair.
There's something about Star Wars where I love that. And I think maybe movies in general, but Star Wars just stands out to me the most, where I can see something and the first time I'm a little like, oh, what is this? Is this Star Wars or this is bumping me or whatever it is. And then the more I see it, the more I kind of get it and understand it. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a really great feeling to be able to not, I guess, hold a grudge against a design choice.
Yeah.
Or trust that at some point, maybe it'll fit into the narrative a bit more. I mean, I hate to reiterate this because it's come up in other interviews recently, but, you know, it's so new to the Star Wars franchise right now. But with Skeleton Crew, everyone on Twitter was so blown up over Suburbia in the Star Wars galaxy, but it ended up actually making a lot of sense when you thought about the bigger picture. So just case in point.
Yeah. I think as long as there's a purpose or someone has actually made a decision, even if you don't like the decision, like I go back to the holiday special, which I've seen it, but I didn't grow up with it. I didn't know much about it until the last few years.
Same.
But just watching it, it's obvious they're like, we have to make a Star Wars thing to cash in, like just come up with some things. And they're so weird, and like a guy pouring drinks into the top of his head because that's how he drinks instead of using the mouth that he has. Like, it's just, they were making decisions. They were trying to be they were doing it to be like Star Wars or do something weird. As long as they're not doing that, if they're making the decision because it's part of the story, like the Suburbia thing or like any of the other things, even the Ewok specials, which I also didn't remember, but like seeing some of those things come back, as long as someone is doing it from like the right place, I think anything can work. You just have to sell people on it.
Yeah.
So what I really like about this point of view, like I said, is it acknowledges that you don't have to like everything. And then it also, I love the way he said that Dexter Jettster bumped him originally, but then was like, of course this is what George Lucas is going to do. A 50s diner, there's nothing more George Lucas than a 50s diner. And I think, my reaction to that scene originally, I think was a little... I don't think my reaction to that scene originally was negative because I'm a big Diners fan myself, and I kind of got it as soon as I saw it. So
I always love it when we see new sides of the Star Wars like greater galaxy, and we talk about it in that clip briefly too, that like there was a strong reaction from some people about the Star Wars Suburbia, and this kind of goes back to our conversation with Claudia Gray that I referenced earlier too, that like, we spoke about Skeleton Crew quite a lot. It was pretty new at the time that we had that chat, and we chatted about it with Bryan as well. Like I was obsessed. And it's the same thing with the diner. Is like, of course, these, like silos and this kind of like these ways of life like exist in a greater galaxy that, know, is popularized like across multiple planets. Like there's going to be different ways of life and seeing ourselves in what we consider to be, Earth and not galaxy far away reflected back. Like, I don't know. Isn't there something kind of wholesome about that? Like, I think,
until what you just said kind of like opened up something for me. Cause I was a little bit of that person who was like, Suburbia.
Yeah. What are we doing here?
yeah. What's happening here? But if you look at it this way, we praise Andor for being so representative of what we're going through in the real world, or so reflective of that. And I think in that fits the tone and story of Andor. Can you not then say that Suburbia, this suburban representation within Skeleton Crew, also represents represents something within the story that's grander than just the story itself, meaning it's representing our world as well, but in a physical way than a philosophical way.
Yeah, I mean, I also loved I agree 100%. I think that if you look at our human history over the ages, right?
Yes.
Like civilizations, and this is one that was a bit isolated too, right? And so if you look at like even our ancient civilizations that were also quite isolated because we hadn't really started, I mean, obviously like in Europe and in some places there was, the spreading out of people, but like more isolation than there is now. That is kind of the order and the way of life that we naturally establish. Yes. Like I've walked down the streets of ancient Rome. They look like suburbia.
People gather together for protection. And
yes.
And that is suburbia.
That's suburbia. Like, and so, yeah, they had, cereal and milk and they had the school bus and like all that was happening. But like that is so innately the the experience of being human. And I know that there's so much more alien life in Star Wars, but that's really what it's a reflection of.
It's absolutely true because a lot of Star Wars were on the edge of society as opposed to the center or the peaceful center.
Yeah, that's where rebel kind of, insurgence is found. Well, that can't be all there is. Like
yes, you're right. It's not just Tatooine and Jakku. Yes.
Everyone was fine with Naboo having, a very kind of more like idyllic city, like even Coruscant.
Yes, you're right.
But like suburbia wasn't like, oh, we can have New York City, but we can't have, Glendale, Arizona. Like, please.
We can't have Wonder Years?
But
I guess at the end of the day, it's all about creativity. And that's what we talk about with Eric Clayton, who is an award-winning writer who we wanted to talk to about his book, My Life with the Jedi, The Spirituality of Star Wars, that looks at Star Wars through the lens of a Jesuit Catholic. And we spoke a lot about creativity. And after we were done with the interview, and this happens a lot too, we'll finish the interview and then just keep on talking. And this is one of those bits that came from the keep on talking, and we were talking about creativity. Here's that part of that discussion.
I just finished another book on it's on like praying and fantasy. So I'm obviously again one trick, but I've done a lot of thinking about like world building, and I have some. I don't know if you guys have read Gene Wolfe's The New Sun. There's a really interesting article essay that opens it about world building. Anyway, I'll just say. So I've been thinking about this stuff. And there's this really, you always think of, like there's like a trope like, oh, fairy tales are for kids, and then people say no, fairy tales are really actually complex and et cetera, et cetera. But this essay, a couple of things I've been looking at make the claim that actually like we say it's for kids in part because kids are more available and ready to do the work of world building, right? Because they're already going through life collecting all of the pieces of the puzzle that is the world, right? So they have that muscle like ready to go. As opposed to us adults who are not always as good at world building or world collecting as you're reading these, even like we're talking about Star Wars, right? You're collecting all of these facts, but you're going to have to reassemble them later down the road. I've just been thinking about that because I was like, wow, like what an interesting way of thinking about our own disposition to the world, like and the kind of the childlike wonder, even in Disneyland, where it's like, what's real, what's not, and does it really matter? Because I'm here to make sense of everything. As opposed to us who are like, well, this isn't really real, or this is not helpful or useful to me. And I don't know. I don't know. I just, if you're talking about like the kids are overwhelmed, right, by the experience. And I wonder if that's like, again, it's part of like world building work that, we now put in a book. And
well, it's important to tap into because I actually just pulled this off the shelf because I have all my favorite books over here. Because you're talking about, this is Jonathan Gottschall. He's an evolutionary psychology writer. And he wrote this book called The Storytelling Animal. I read it like 15 years ago, but so it's a bit older. But
when you were 15? Go ahead, brag. Go ahead. I'm young. I still have lots of life ahead of me. Whatever.
I swear,
that's your 8th grade project.
I know, right? I swear, like, a huge chunk of this book is all about how because it's called the storytelling animal, it's all about how important world building and specifically like imaginary play is for kids to basically become very like well-rounded, functioning, like, you know, members of society, basically. But that, you know, when we take away that playtime and we take away that immersion, like the results are usually people who don't kind of mix well. And it's interesting. It's a fascinating, kind of take on play as being education. Yeah.
Does it delineate between play like in the real world and play on a screen, or is it?
Yeah, that's what he's saying. Is he's saying like get in the backyard with the sticks and like you create
go touch grass.
Go touch some grass. Yeah.
That's always the answer.
Yeah.
Or like yes. I love Legos. Like my girls have a ton of Legos, and I think that's
exactly. Yeah. I think I've talked about this before. You know, we had read Eric's book, and Eric was coming on. And I would say I was always excited to talk to Eric. I really appreciated his point of view, but there was a side of me that is so not religious leaning that I was apprehensive a little bit about like what was this conversation? How was it going to take shape? And we had talked about that prior.
Was I going to have to do communion by the end?
No. Like more like I kind of looked at you and I was like, you might have to carry this one because this isn't my realm. Like this isn't my domain. And or even like in a lot of ways comfort level, right? And it ended up being I actually, this is hard to say because like we've had so many amazing guests on this season. This might be one of my favorite interviews of season 3. Like I wanted to keep chatting with Eric so much. I thought his outlook on just like life and the spirituality of Star Wars and like the importance of like the creativity of Star Wars, like all of it, like he like I shouldn't have been surprised because it was all a lot of the foundations of his book as well. But he like completely blew me out of the water.
What I found amazing about Eric was his faith in Catholicism, his faith as a Catholic, while also his understanding and curiosity into other philosophical ways, whether they're religious or just philosophy, as well as games and pop culture. And he had references that he was like, do you play such and such game? And I was like, well, I don't even know what that game is.
I know the intersection of like all this stuff. I was like, you are very cool.
Yes, that's exactly right.
My favorite takeaway from this particular clip though was how important like world building and imaginary play is for kids. And like I have nieces and nephews, and I deeply appreciate kind of their parents' philosophy around, you know, making sure that there's playtime and stuff in the house too, because that's what makes well-rounded people. Like we learn from playing. We learn from that function of like creating and imagining, and then like reiterating the things that is also being like modeled around us too. Like, I mean, if you could think back to, you know, I think back to when I played Imaginary in the backyard with my sister, a lot of that was like, you know, inspired by our life. And then like, but in a fantasy realm, right?
Yeah. It's play in a way is rehearsing adulthood. And you see what the adults are doing and you mimic it until it becomes that's who you are.
Yeah. You just might be on a pirate ship.
Yeah, you might be on a pirate ship. Or it could be in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
I mean, I find it fascinating that we started this conversation, like we started the show with, I liked to do my Darth Vader impersonation for Mark Thompson. And we ended, now we're here at what creativity means as a child and what it represents as you grow. And
where Star Wars fits into that universe.
Well, Star Wars is the lens of all that. For me, Star Wars is the lens through which I understand and view all that.
I like that a lot. Right? Yeah.
I like it too.
I think it is for a lot of adults.
I think so too, because it's better than the nightly news.
Oh, hell yeah.
So that was a big takeaway. What other big takeaways from this season do we have?
Ooh, I actually, I don't know if this might be a cheat to answer, but like because I don't know if it's so much a takeaway as much as I appreciated how much time we spent on Andor.
Yes. That's good. Yes.
I don't know if I can even synthesize right this moment why. I feel like we've said it enough over the season, but like this has been a very politically charged year. This has been, we're dealing with a lot of unprecedented times, which is a sentence that makes me just want to vomit in my mouth because I've been living through unprecedented times since I have memory, and the millennials are tired. We're tired, but I just like
thoughts and prayers for the millennials.
But like honestly, that is the perfect like that right there. I deeply appreciated having Andor as an outlet for that anger, that frustration, that confusion, like even grief to a certain extent.
Yep.
And then talking about it so constructively and so passionately and with creativity and with like hope.
Yes.
Capital H, hope that exists in Star Wars. I don't think I realized until like even just this moment like how much I needed that this year. And so that's probably my biggest takeaway is that like this podcast and like Andor specifically, I think kept me from getting far like as cynical and as negative as I could have gotten.
Again, it comes down to the lens through which you view the world, and Star Wars was helping you kind of like Andor was kind of helping you cope with that, or maybe understand it in a better way.
Dissect it and feel hopeful.
Yes.
All of our talk with Death Stars and democracy, Chris Kempsahll is actually a huge kind of reason for I think our conversations with him this year. That's probably my biggest takeaway is that like you can still find hope in Star Wars.
Yes, I agree. I don't know if this is the same kind of thing. I feel like it echoes it a little bit.
Sure.
But I have grown to really like saying, "May the Force be with you" at the end of each episode. Like, I don't know when we started doing that. I don't know if I started doing that in season 1 or not.
I feel like you were doing it when I joined. Yeah.
When I first started it, I felt so corny. It just felt like, it felt on the nose and obvious. It felt like everyone must do it. But with everyone's response of like, "May the Force be with you," like they respond with "and with you," or "May the Force be with you," or whatever, you hear in their voice a little joy as they say it. And I think I've grown to really appreciate that and embrace it.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then you're sharing a piece of like, I feel like that is the connection, right? Is like to what I'm saying is like, it is a bit of a like, hang in there. May the Force be with you.
I love it. We should take the cat poster, hanging from the tree where it traditionally says, "Hey, hang in there," and just say, "May the Force be with you."
You got this. It's okay.
You got this. Yes. All right, so that's season 3. Wow.
Easy. I posted, I sent a voice memo to a friend of mine the other day, and I ended up posting it on Instagram because I came across it and it made me laugh really hard. I laugh at, this is not a complaint at all. I'm going to repeat it here, like at all, because I wouldn't have it any other way. I very much enjoy talking Star Wars with you every day. But I do laugh at me 2 years ago that was like, oh, how much work could a podcast possibly be?
I know.
She was cute. She was so stupid. Yeah, we talk every day. We might try a new format in season 4.
Yes, we may try a new format. We may try a couple new angles at looking at Star Wars.
You might see our faces a bit more.
May see our faces a bit more.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Yeah. If we're not feeling self-conscious.
But we'll definitely have, more guests talking about why they love Star Wars, talking about their Star Wars journey.
What are you excited for that's coming out in the world of Star Wars in 2026? Like the most?
There's a couple of things that stand out. Just because it's back on the big screen, Mando and Grogu.
Yeah.
There's a Star Wars in the theaters has to be number one, I think, for me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm also really looking forward to the sequel of Mask of Fear, Reign of the Empire, Mask of Fear.
Yeah.
I loved that. I loved the first book. And
same. That's definitely like in my top 3.
Yeah. So those are my top things at the moment. How about you?
Yeah. I mean, not to sound like a broken record, but yeah, I mean, any new Star Wars in a movie theater is going to have to be number 1. I also loved Alexandra Freed's Mask of Fear. I'm excited to kind of see where a new author takes. At first, I was not excited that Freed was not writing it.
Yes.
Because I loved what he did so much. But then I was like, oh, okay, I see what they're doing, and that's very cool. I don't know what else is coming out in 2026. I thought the Rey movie was supposed to come out. That would have been my top 3, but I don't know if that's still shelved.
I don't know if it's still shelved, if it's quietly in development.
I do think there's a new Lego Star Wars as well, so that'll be fun.
I think Rebuild the Galaxy Part 3 will be coming. Ahsoka Season 2 will be coming out. There's a ton of books.
Oh, like enough books to choke a horse. Yeah.
Yeah. To fill a library.
I like that better. Less violent.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but let us know what you're excited about coming out in 2026 in Star Wars. Let us know, how has your opinion changed of Star Wars? Who influenced you to look at Star Wars from a new point of view, from a different point of view? Yeah.
That's a great question.
But let us know on social at Star Wars Mean to You. That's at Star Wars Mean, the number 2 and the letter U. And that's across socials. And until 2026, may the Force be with you.
And with you.
You almost unplugged your water?
The router? Like the internet
the router. I thought you said the water. I was like, wait a minute, water should not be plugged in.
I was kicking my feet under my desk like a dork, and I felt something kind of knock half out of the wall, and I was like, wait, that actually felt important, and it was.
This is a radar ping, and it's like, ping, we're here, ping, we've got guests, ping.
Is there anyone out in the galaxy?
Got mail. Yes. I'm totally cutting the "you've got mail" joke and highlighting that. That's funnier. And then this is going to become the secret scene at the end.
Do we have any rebels out there still with us? Yeah.
Yes.
Another way I Star Wars this week, actually, I've been putting together little Easter gift kits for my nieces and nephew. And each one of them are getting this is hilarious. I don't know if this is going to end up in the episode. Side tangent. I was at the post office. And this all started because they had a bubble mailer that was Easter themed that was so cute. And I was like, I had no plans to send Easter gifts to anybody. And I was like, somebody needs to receive this gift mailer. I would be so overjoyed if somebody mailed me this bubble mailer because it's so cute.
Yes. Yeah.
And so I bought it with the intent of I'll figure out what to do with it later. And I was thinking about it and I was like, well, duh. Send an Easter basket to, your nieces and your nephew. But anyway, that's a side, girl brain tangent. How that relates to Star Wars is I got them all as part of their little baskets. There's a those miniature Legos. They're little tiny kits in the bags. They're 20 pieces or something like that. Yeah. My nephew is getting the Millennium Falcon. So
wow.
You got to introduce.
Does it have the little Han Solo who sits kind of atop it? Or?
No, it's just the ship. Yeah, it's one of the mini packs. Yeah.
Yes.
So it doesn't have any of the figures in it, but and it's just part of a larger gift. But yeah, that was the other way I Star Wars this week is I'm going to start introducing to my nephew.
Woohoo!
Woo!
That was fun.
That was
fun.
I like it. Picasso, as the Gen Zers say.
Oh, is that what they're saying now?
There was a really funny audio that was going on TikTok that was like, I like it, Picasso. And I don't know why, but it just tickled me. And so now every time something goes well, I'm like, I like it, Picasso. And
I totally get why that tickled you. I come off
like the old grandma that's like, that's so groovy when I say it, but,
yeah. No cap.
Exactly. Too funny. All right. Do we know?
I had a Coke. I'm kind of tired. I had a Coke too. Like, I don't drink caffeine. I've like cut caffeine. Well, I haven't cut caffeine out of my life, but like I'll have one Coke every month or so. Like the last time I had a Coke, football was on. I'm having a Coke right now.
That's funny. I'm eating snowballs, like the Hostess snowballs.
Why not? Yeah.
I popped into a convenience store next to my dentist this morning and they had these.
There's
and
nothing
I was
like a snowball after your dentist. Huh. Let's say I'm getting my teeth whitening, but let me do some damage and get me a snowball. What is it, like coconut and sugar and icing and chocolate cake? Yeah.
So we're both on a sugar high was my point.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we are. Mm-hmm. We'll rapidly get, this will be like 20 minutes. It'll be a 40-minute show crammed into 20 minutes.
Well, it's funny because you're saying, well, you only have like a Coke like once a month is like a treat. I only have snowballs if I'm on like road trips that exceed 2 or more hours. So to have a snowball now, it's a real treat.
Yeah. It's always fun though. Okay.
Oh, man. Okay.
Okay. You know, it's weird. Sometimes I ask myself, is like, am I going to like get sick of Star Wars or like study it too much? And I find it's interesting that sometimes I'm still finding things that are really new and interesting to me about it. Yeah. Okay. Stop.
About his Star Wars journey. So maybe we should just go ahead and dive right into the Holocon recap.
I
almost did that on one take. I almost did that on one take, and I heard it coming. I was like, the stutter's coming at some point. It's coming at some point.
Oh my god! The Holocon recap. That's what we're gonna call it from now on.
Recap.
He walked away with a full flush.
He did.
Full flush? He walked away. I can't think. Royal flush.
I was like, I think I know what it is, but I don't play poker.
I got Full House and Royal Flush mixed up. So much. Sorry. I just totally, my brain just went ka-chunk.
And that is why we have a cutting room floor, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly. Oh my god.
Ours is really high. No, I'm kidding.
Yes. We have a lot of film on the floor. It's a mess.
It's up to our knees. Dave, may the force be with you.
And with you.
That was a very Tigger, like,
That was a very Tigger. Should we hear what Star Wars means to him?
Yes. I just droned on for so long. Please cut half of that down.
I'm going to cut most of it out. In fact, it'll be lucky if people even think you're in this episode.
I even showed up to work today.
Yeah, it's just going to be me monologuing. But I'll put silence where you were talking so that people can actually join in. It'll be like a interactive episode about how Star Wars represents the politics and wars of real life and how fascism in both Star Wars and how fascism is around and how fascism is fuck you, fascism. I can't even say the word.
You got it.
Well,
you have a lot of editing to do, but I do think that that's a decent episode.
Yeah. Do you have like maybe 15 more minutes?
Yeah. Well, totally go for it.
Okay, great. I forgot I hadn't asked that at the beginning of the session.
Yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
You know what? Give me your cell phone number, and anytime I have a historical question, I'm just going to call you. You'll be like, dude, it's 3 a.m. in London, I'll be like, I don't care. It's 9 here.
Yeah, and I have a
vlog us on Instagram after this.
Yeah, I have a very pressing question about Bismarck.
A film to a comic book, right? Like,
exactly.
I mean, you have two completely different types of medians. Like, one is, did I say medians? Mediums.
Yeah, you have two different type of psychics.
Your secret scene. I was at dinner last night and I was a little bit tipsy and I ordered a quesadilla by saying quesadilla, and my entire table would not let it go for the rest of the night. They were adamant that I didn't know how to say quesadilla, and I was like, nope. I just was a little drunk and trying to spell out every letter. But anyway,
quesadilla.
Quesadilla. My husband was like, what the fuck? Okay, let me I'm gonna
rewind, reverse,
back up, start over. Okay. Hello there, this is Elora and I'm a prequel trilogy kid.
And this is Dave and I'm an original trilogy kid. Can I say that again? Hold on.
No, okay.
And
get one take.
One take.
Screw up your second one.
Okay, 3 takes.
Zoom, zoom, zoom. Yay.
Another thing. I thought it was super corny to end with "May the Force be with you," and now it's one of my favorite moments of the show.
Oh, it's my favorite moment in the show. Yeah,
it's just because the response when they say "May the Force be with you" or "also with you," I just love it. I just love it.
Chef's kiss.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
Breaking news: Taylor Swift is engaged. So I know that is something our fans of the show really want us to talk about. They've been waiting on pins and needles for our reaction.
Did that freak you out? Were you like, yes? or were you like, did you have a human response and went, oh, that's good for her?
I had I had a slightly parasocial response in that I have grown up with this person's diary in my ears since I was a child. So there was a little bit of wow, I'm so rooting for her to have her happy ending. That was probably the max of my parasocial response. My girls and I on my Swiftie feed were gushing over the ring because it's stunning and it's very Art Deco and very her. But
isn't it one of his Kansas City Super Bowl rings?
No, it's an antique diamond or something. No, but I actually, what I freaked out over the most was, so fans of Taylor Swift now, post the Eras tour or starting in the Eras tour, probably don't recognize how much she was chronically online, in the early years of her career. So for those of us who've been fans of her since debut or since Fearless and we're following her on social media up until the Reputation era, that girl was on Twitter every day. She had a Tumblr. She had the Snapchat. She was constantly interacting with people. So my response was more I can't believe we're getting 2010 Taylor back, this content, the fact that she was offering it to us on a silver platter, through her own Instagram. That's where I more geeked out and freaked out the most, where I was oh my God, are we back? Are we getting Taylor back on the internet? That was exciting. Yeah. Why do you think wow, I almost said, why do you think humans attach themselves to droids? That's dumb. That's not what I meant to ask. Why are humans so weird? Does not sound like an alien, Elora. Okay, wait, I'm saying I 1,000 times. Okay, I'm trying to formulate my thought. We'll cut all that out.
No, that's staying in.
No. It's,
do it.
Sorry. Yeah, who are we talking to next week?
Nobody.
I just keyed that up completely backwards.
Yeah.
This is it.
I was about to
kind
say.
Of.
Yes. So next week will be our season finale for 2025. We'll be back in 2026 with more episodes.
All right. What's number 3?
Number 3. This is number 3? Okay, great. Okay. Number three. Sorry. Here we go.